As we speak, they are already working together. As I've said, my PS with the other relevant PSs from the relevant ministries, and we are talking about the Ministry of Health, which is very critical because we cannot compromise on health services. The people of Nairobi are suffering. They will be working together. There's a CEC Health, there's a chief officer. They will be working very closely together. We have issues of transport. We also have issues of planning. When you have investors coming to Nairobi and development plans cannot be approved for months on end, this will cause Nairobi to lose because investors will move to Rwanda and other great cities that are working. So we cannot afford Nairobi to be dysfunctional. We cannot afford this paralysis to continue, and that is why we're going to work together. So our team as national government will be working closely with the county team. Beginning this morning, they are already working together, PSS, the county secretary, and their team. And Governor Sonko, who signed with us, continues to be the governor and will continue in the spirit of consultation and cooperation for the good of the people of Nairobi. Thank you. I will be issuing a further statement after my 3-day tour of northern Kenya on Friday. We will be making a further comprehensive statement on the way forward. The teams that are working together around the clock will have more details on how this is going to work, even as we continue receiving views in the public participation that will be ongoing for the next 7 days. And both the people of Nairobi and the people of Kenya will be updated from time to time as to the progress. And our only interest is to turn around the great city of Nairobi that was once the city in the sun, the green city in the sun, to be what it was and what the people of Nairobi and the people of Kenya want it to be. It is the desire of both the national government and the Nairobi county government to work together. And I believe it is the desire of every Nairobian and every Kenyan to see restoration of services and also to see improved service delivery to the people of Nairobi and the citizens of Kenya. The disruption and breakdown of services has greatly hampered our capital city, and this is a matter of concern because Nairobi County, as we speak, accounts for a quarter of our GDP. So Nairobi is just not any county. We cannot, as national government, turn a blind eye to Nairobi when there is this paralysis. We cannot afford to, because Nairobi is too important to all of us, being the seat of government, being the capital of our country, and being that important in as far as our GDP is concerned. We will continue working together to ensure that the over 4.4 million Kenyans who live in Nairobi are not affected adversely by the breakdown or the paralysis that has persisted in Nairobi now. And that is the reason why the national government has come in consultation with the county government of Nairobi, to have these critical services restored to the people. Even as the agreement comes into effect, the other functions and the role of the county government of Nairobi, including legislation on matters that concern Nairobi City, will remain with the elected leaders of the county assembly. And I want to assure Speaker Elachi, the majority leader, and all the elected leaders that Nairobi County remains, and they will continue with their oversight and legislation roles. And we will be briefing them, as I've said, on these developments. We are happy, and I believe every Kenyan who really cares for this country should be happy that there's a breakthrough, that there is finally a solution that has been reached, that is provided for both by our Constitution, by the County Government Act, by the Intergovernmental Relations Act, for the two levels of government to work together in the interest of Nairobians, the interest of the county, as well as the country. So I am happy that even as we are working with the other counties, we will continue as national government to work very closely with the county government of Nairobi and the leadership of Nairobi as we move forward. Kenyans, that after the signing of this agreement, the same has been gazetted, and now public and must be subjected to public participation. This will be an opportunity given from today for the public to review the said agreement, which has been gazetted in the Kenya Gazette, and to do so within the following 7 days. And we will be inviting recommendations so that we are able to get feedback from the people of Nairobi and the people of Kenya. The agreement also gives 21 days for implementations. The period will be firstly for the 7 days of public participation beginning today, and the rest of the period will be for the setting up of the necessary structures to harmonize both the national and county government functions to ensure seamless service delivery. As we speak, this started this morning at a technical level of PSS and led by the PS Devolution, Charles Sunkuli, together with the County Secretary of Nairobi. The teams are sitting in Nairobi, even as we are working in the FCDC counties. Work is going on in Nairobi, consultations are going on, structures are being set up so that we are able to have these teams working together. We have come also with a big delegation of our development partners from the UN family to basically see how we can strengthen partnership between the national government, the county governments, together with our development partners. And it's in this spirit that we want to work very, very closely with all our counties. But as you are aware, when I left Nairobi yesterday, we had already entered into a deed of transfer of functions with the county government of Nairobi, where Governor Mike Mbuvi Sonko, on behalf of the on behalf of the county government of Nairobi, signed a deed of transfer with myself on behalf of national government. This is something that is allowed by our laws. The agreement is premised on Article 187 of our Constitution, which states that transfer of functions and powers of between two levels of government is allowed, and a function or a power of government at one level may be transferred to the government at the other level through an agreement. And the function or power would be transferred if, in the view of the two levels of government, the same would effectively be performed and exercised by the receiving government. And also if the transfer of the function or power is not prohibited by the legislation under which it is performed or exercised. So it is allowed that one level of government can actually allow the other level to do its function, and particularly if it is agreed that the other level could be able to do it more effectively. And we did this in the interest, and this is an assurance I want to give the good people of the great county of Nairobi, that what was done was in the interest of the county and the country. And that is why that deed was signed yesterday before I left Nairobi. And both levels of government under Article 6 of our Constitution are allowed to work together in the spirit of consultation and cooperation. And we have been holding consultations with the county government of Nairobi. As you know, all has not been well in Nairobi for a while. Unless you're a stranger in Jerusalem, you would definitely know that things have not been well in Nairobi. And it's a matter that has not just been of concern to the people of Nairobi, but also the people of Kenya. Yeah, because Nairobi is really our capital and the seat of government. And it was clear from the decline in service delivery, the Nairobi City County government was constrained in effectively discharging its functions, and it was recognized that some functions of the county government would currently be more effectively performed and exercised by the national government. After this agreement, after lengthy consultations, it was agreed that the following functions will be transferred to the national government. One, the county health services, which are very critical, and many residents of Nairobi know that they've been having challenges in receiving health services at several hospitals in Nairobi. The second one is the county transport services. The third one is the county planning and development services. And the fourth and last is the county public works, utilities, and ancillary services. So those are the 4 functions that have been transferred. And it's not correct for anyone to purport that the national government has dissolved the county government of Nairobi. The county government remains in place with the governor, the executive, and the county assembly. But there are these 4 functions that have specifically been transferred to the national government for effective delivery. It was agreed that these functions be transferred to the national government until such a time that the county government in Nairobi was in a position to take them over. We believe that the problems facing Nairobi are not insurmountable, and it is for a period. And until normalcy resumes, the national government will perform these functions. But when the county government of Nairobi is back on its feet, we will continue supporting them, but we will have these functions returned to the county government to continue when the situation normalizes. The agreement entered into has very clear guidelines, performance standards, and reporting obligations. These guidelines provide for the parties to harmonize the sector performance contracts and service delivery indicators for better service delivery. Really, our aim is to ensure that service delivery to the good people of Nairobi is not affected. The agreement further allows for the parties to enter into specific level agreements for the better performance of these agreements. This would enable the particular sectors to tailor solutions for effective service delivery by the national government in concert with the county government. So we will keep, in the spirit of Article 6, in very close consultations with the county government of Nairobi, even as we perform these specific functions that have been transferred, to ensure that management of the transferred services is done to the satisfaction of the residents of the county. The agreement establishes that there will be an annual reporting to Parliament and to the county assembly. And for those of you who saw the signing ceremony, the Speaker of the Senate was present, and we are saying that it's not a matter that we leave out the county assembly of Nairobi or the Senate. Parliament clearly has a role, because in terms of accountability, in terms of oversight, the County Assembly of Nairobi will continue with its oversighting role, but the Senate will also be fully briefed from time to time. So we want to lay to rest the fears that perhaps both the County Assembly of Nairobi and the Parliament, particularly the House of Senate, has been left out in this. It has been done in full consultation by both governments as well as the relevant institutions. The question of the funding of the transferred functions was also addressed, and this is a very critical issue. The agreement establishes that the transferred functions will be funded from the County Revenue Fund, which shall be determined by the national government in consultation with the county government every financial year. This will ensure the funds are earmarked for the delivery of the services under the transferred functions and are taken where they are needed for very, very specific functions. An integral part of the agreement is the county government appointing KRA. I think this is one other issue that people have been asking about, the role of KRA in revenue collection, and it's not a new thing. As you know, one of the governors, first governors in Kenya, the first governor of Kiambu, entered into an MOU with KRA, Governor Kabogo. And as the Minister for Devolution, I can tell you that engagement of KRA by Kiambu County So Kiambu County's revenue collection improved tremendously. And it has been taken as a precedent that other counties can emulate. And therefore, there's nothing strange about the county of Nairobi also engaging KRA to improve in its revenue collection. So KRA will be the principal collector of all revenues for the county of Nairobi. And we are hoping to see improved revenue collection in Nairobi, just the way we saw in Kiambu County. The underlying reason for this is to address the matter of a drastic fall in revenues in the county government of Nairobi, which has in turn led to sharp decline in service delivery to the residents of Nairobi. It was felt that KRA will be better placed in terms of institutional capacity to ensure that the revenue is efficiently and effectively collected to enable services to be rendered to the people. Once we see improved revenue collection in Nairobi, we'll also see improved service delivery to the great people of Nairobi County. With regard to human resources, and I know there have been fears about what happens to the people employed, the agreement also addresses this issue and envisages the secondment of all the relevant county government employees employed under the transferred functions to the national government. To this end, the Public Service Commission and the Nairobi County Public Service Board will facilitate that settlement. So the two boards will be working together to ensure that no employee suffers as a result of this transfer. In view of the county government's constraints in the effective discharge of its functions, the agreement mandates the national government to carry out a comprehensive capacity assessment in line with Article 190 of the Constitution, and this is something that has already been provided for national government to do. Based on this assessment, the parties will develop a capacity building program to address any challenges or shortcomings that will be identified as we progress with this assessment. Section 26, 3B of the Intergovernmental Relations Act dictates that the agreement must be gazetted. So there is nothing secretive